Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, this video is continuing the stockpile journey. It's not really a destination. It's really how we're going to save money by eating out of our stockpile and time and energy. Okay, so, and then it's going to be some, four reasons that we're seeing around the world and in the U.S. why we have to, like it or not, stay on the stockpile journey. So, okay, today I wanted to make a meal. So this week I'm eating 2 meals out of 7. These are dinner meals out of the stockpile. So I like to eat meatloaf. Here it is. I made meatloaf in bell peppers, and then I'm using my potatoes up. Also, let me show you. This potato had a couple of eyes. So I am sprouting these in the window. You just change water every day or so, and we'll get into why bother trying to grow food. There's a good reason why. Okay, so I like to buy a pound of hamburger. That gives me 4 meals, and a pound of turkey burger. That gives me 4 meals. And I like to have hamburger. So I put the meatloaf in the bell pepper, and I used a half-pound meat. And then this was a pretty large potato, so that is awesome. And so nothing special here. I mixed hamburger, dry onion, garlic, salt, pepper, egg, breadcrumbs, and I made a meatloaf, and then I stuffed that in my bell pepper, and then I put ketchup on top of the bell pepper and the potato, and I put ketchup that I had, you know, from my eating out at McDonald's. And then what I want to start doing is substituting sour cream for butter whenever I can. It's cheaper, and get used to storing up some sour cream or cream cheese. And with the sour cream, I will use that. This has been frozen. I will use that in my in place of an egg. I'm going to start doing that. Then, you know, if the eggs get really expensive, no cause for alarm. We have sour cream in the freezer all the time. And making yogurt and making sour cream that can be, here's what we've got so far. Okay, then I made, did I already put, I didn't. Okay, this is some cream corn, and I found a really good recipe. Also, I want to search out less meat meals. It is corn, sweet corn, potato curry, 2 medium potatoes, 2 tablespoons oil, 1 tablespoon minced ginger, 2 cloves garlic, 1 jalapeno pepper diced. I keep those pickled. It's everything in the stockpile. 1 can of cream style corn, 1 cup milk. And what I do is I made powdered milk today. Here it is. And the reason so I have everything to make this. I'll probably make this tomorrow. So I'm going through my stockpile, and this expires February 24th. So I have a little bit left. Ooh. So I want to use that up. I'm going through my stockpile, and I want to take out everything that expires 2025 and 2026, and I want to eat everything that expires 2024, and this corn did, so that was good. So here is the corn. Let's see, was there anything else in here? Oh, there is 1 tablespoon curry powder, 1/2 teaspoon ground coriander, and 3 cups cooked rice. Let me give you a shot. Oh, let me give you, I got this 50% off, but this is a kind in case you want to get the recipe for yourself. You can probably put, like, when a lot of times I make, so this is a pretty good square type meal. You've got your meat, you've got your veggies, and you've got your carb. So that's why I really didn't need bread. And then this is 2 cups of milk. Okay, so I like 2 hamburger meals, 2 chicken meals, and what I do is I get legs and thighs, because I've discovered that is the easiest, I mean the cheapest and easy. 1 leg and thigh is 1 portion, and so like this is 2 portions, so tomorrow I don't have to cook. And today I couldn't go to the gym. I could, but it was pouring down rain, and the traffic out here, as brutal as it is, and a lot of accidents happen, so I thought it's not worth it. I was parked in the Target parking place, you know, in the parking place like you're supposed to, minding my own business, and I saw a guy way up out of the way, parked horizontally, and the guy backed into me. And I said to him, "How can you hit me? I'm a large object." He goes, "I didn't see you." I go, "Oh my God, do you have insurance?" And he's looking at me. I thought, oh, you poor guy. Just about that time, the dent popped out. I go, "The force is with you, goodbye." But nonetheless, you know, you have to be careful driving around here because the traffic is so awful. So no going to the gym today. And it's been pouring all night tonight, so maybe no going to the gym. We'll have to wait and see. So I get 2 servings chicken, 1 hot dog or Polish or kielbasa sausage, one of those, 1 bacon or sausage, and I could make some microwave eggs, and then 1 pasta meal, like tuna casserole, macaroni and cheese, or spaghetti. So here we go there. Today I had 1/2 can of mushroom soup. I've been eating soup a lot. Sometimes I'll do that. I eat sandwiches. I have tons of sandwiches that I got free. And so I don't need bread. I won't be baking bread until I eat all those sandwiches. And then I had 1/2 can of vegetable soup, but I thought I got this out because this was $4. I'm buying the big cans. Why would I eat soup when I can buy this just as cheap, if not cheaper? So I will buy some big cans of like tomato soup or, you know, the kinds I really like. But why not get these big cans of meals? Well, for one thing, they're hard to find. But I will be searching around. And when did this one expire? March 24. So I'll probably eat this after I eat the vegetable soup in there. Okay, I have a big can of pineapple, so I could make a pineapple upside down cake and or some Jell-O with pineapple. I'm going to make potato rolls, and what I want to do is switch my recipe around. I want to add either or more than 1/4 cup powdered milk, especially since I want to use this up, or 1/4 cup oatmeal ground, or 1/4 cup nuts ground, or 1/4 cup potatoes. So that way I'm using some cheaper ingredients that are kind of really nourishing too. And then I'm going to make peanut butter cookies because Now this was one of my better ones. This is the sunflower seed, like, here it is. It doesn't look good. It's sunflower seed butter, like peanut butter. Oh, and so, it's not as buttery, but it tastes really good if you if you eat it with buttery crackers and soup. That's what I was eating. But now I got all these awesome sandwiches. So, I want to make some peanut butter cookies with that, but also I want to make this. I have these in the stockpile, these brownies, and then I want to put a dollop wherever there would be a small brownie of this nut butter. It's sunflower this time, and I do that sometimes with peanut butter. The cashew butter was really good. You just spread your nuts out on a cookie sheet, and you roast them at 200, 10 minutes on each side. If it's almonds, you have to remove the outer skin by boiling them, and when it gets soft, you can squeeze it off. But I usually buy the kind that already have the skin removed. And then just put them in your blender, and with these little nuts, which are good for putting on oatmeal, and you have your milk, you can grind your nuts, and that's a good breakfast. So you just put them in the blender and you blend. You just keep hitting pulse, and they will blend. They're practically like peanut butter anyway, at about 1/2, depending. I use 2 a package, small package. And then add about a 1/2 tablespoon of oil, or a tablespoon, and then you'll get a nice nut butter that can be used in making, I also have peanut butter granola in there. And then I wanted to mention, I put a lot of paprika on the top of my potatoes and my bell pepper, and I just use garlic, salt, and dry pepper. I mean dry onion. Okay, so now, so I'm pursuing. So when I make these brownies, I will. It says add egg and oil. I will add 1/2 cup sour cream, and then some oil, however much it calls for. Okay, so I'm looking for ways to make my butter, my sour cream, my yogurt, putting more non-meat ingredients. Okay, now think about square meals. So people used to say, well, you need 3 square meals a day. But really, you can live on less than 3 square meals a day. I usually eat 2 meals, and then I'll usually have some soup, or a sandwich, or, you know, a hamburger, or some cereal and milk. A square meal is a substantial, complete, balanced meal. Carbohydrates, protein, fat, fruit, and vegetables. Okay, now we're going to think about why this is so important, this stockpiling. We need food. If you have food, you can really get by from one day to the next. Water, food and water, gas, cash, and I'll just point to it so as not to cause any problems. Okay, so now why worry about it? Okay, I heard a theory, and I thought it was a pretty good one too, that the next war might not be the kind of war where the troops are on the ground, but they might be cyber attacks. Okay, we had a couple of hacks, like in Las Vegas, where the casinos had to pay ransom to the hackers. But if we got a bad cyber attack, it could close down the credit cards, the banks. So that would be bad, because then you couldn't use your cards, because the bank's been sometimes they go, we don't take cards or we don't take cash anyway. You want to have both. But if it was a cyber attack, you need some cash. So that's why it's food, water, gas, in case you have to go somewhere because the gas stations might be shut down. All the computer, everything, like all the, we had, you know, everything could be closed. We had, we're still having this bad rain, and Ralph's was flooded, and I didn't have enough water. Okay, so be thinking about, can I withstand a cyber attack? Okay, I will be having, these are good. These are like yummy jellos. I will be having that. Okay, so now back to food. We're looking, there's this theory, and it was, there will be Russia, there will be China, and there will be the US. And so what I understood it is these three countries would take over the US, and I said for sure California would be China, which for me that would be pretty bad. The northern region might be Russia, and the southern region, like Texas, might be the US. But what I think they were talking about, it's kind of like these cyber attacks. Maybe it would be the bloc of Canada, the US, and Mexico would be the US. Russia would be Russia. And I heard maybe Europe wants to leave NATO. We would have to see about that. Okay, so, and then China would be China. That would make more sense to me. So we're moving towards this global economy. So this is one of the reasons they're saying this is not sustainable, that is not sustainable for the whole world. We got to think about the whole world now. So this is why we want food in our houses in case of a cyber attack. So he who controls the food controls the people. So we're going, uh-oh, and if you can't get into the stores, that'd be bad. Right now, the farmers are protesting in Europe because the big companies want to take over the farming. For one thing, they want to control he who controls the wealth. Well, the food is, the farmers have historically been pretty well off. So that's like an attack on the rich people. So when the rich, you know, we see these rich people, you know, the governments are taking their money. That is not so good. So we're watching these farmers in Europe. But we're having this globalist economy, so we have to see how this plays out. Okay, so now another thing is they kind of want to move the populations into cities. Like, you know, China has these super cities. The Russians kind of live in cities, which kind of makes sense because of their cold weather, you know, to manage the population. So, you know, and the U.S. has mostly big cities, but that makes us easier to attack. But it also makes it easier to control our weapons. You know how we can't have any firearms, I think, in New York City? So it's all for the government to manage the population. Also, if they do the UBI, and these big people are making tons of money, they can afford UBI for the plebes. Okay, now we also see them wanting to manage transportation. So one of the most important things, and manage utilities, and manage fuel. So one of the most important things is you always want to have gasoline. So, and you always want to have, if you don't have a lot of extra money, try saving $1 a day, like Jan from New York City saves money. I went back to selling a little bit of stuff on eBay just to pay for my gas because I live in the next city, but the traffic is so brutal it costs me $50 a week. Just the gym is cheap, but the gasoline is not. And they want to say, okay, we're going to give you cheap electric cars, but they don't run good in really cold weather, or like some of these solar panels are really lousy in cold weather too. So they want to manage our banking, this government, and we're moving in that direction. So we want to say, well, what can we do to live as best we can as this plays out? It's probably going to play out, so let's just be smart about it. Okay, so I mentioned to you, in my family, the farmers would grow the food, sell the food, and buy more provisions. The ranchers would raise the beef, sell the beef, and then, you know, they had to buy more stuff to get through the next year. So what we want to do is we want to say, okay, how can I get enough food in my house for a year? Maybe I'm going to have to go to the food banks, the churches, eat cheaper food. But the main thing is canned food, the big cans. They're the most cost effective, and one can is enough for several meals. And also this thing of pickling food is very valuable, and growing food. Okay, so why did the farmers, you know, grow more food? To survive. Well, it's us too. We've seen what happened, you know, when there's a food shortage in Korea. The people laid on the street and starved because they didn't have a quarter-pound of rice. So that is why I am determined to try to grow soy, so I can have soy milk, so I can have tofu. There was a video, and this old lady said an old man came up to her and told her, plant soy. So she took it to heart. They planted soy, and they sold soy milk and tofu like 60 years later. And one of my customers, who is a polygamist, went down to Mexico, and things got really bad. Here in San Diego, like, we see the Mexicans that come up here, and they're just looking for a job. So he was an American. He came up, but his wife almost starved down there with her little daughter. And an old man came up. He gave her a bag of beans, a bag of rice, and he told her to plant a garden. So the Mexican garden would be tomatoes. So in my backyard, if it's cold, they might die. I have a lot of cherry tomatoes already sprouted, peppers, squash, and onions to go with your beans and rice. You want to grow those indoors, and you want to get as much food as you can with, you know, like the living lettuce. And what I do is I cut the leaves around, and then that leaves me the stalk with the roots, and then you can plant that. A lot of stuff is plantable. Green onions. So what we want to say to ourselves is we want to get food. They say 3 days. No, 3 days is not enough if something happens. If it is a cyber attack, it's going to be some kind of attack that's really going to cripple us, not just like, here, look, we can do it. So we want to prepare for that, and also make sure you have enough food. I mean, do you want your family to starve? Do you have babies? Make sure you stockpile dairy and meat. If the power goes out, then no water, then no toilets. I mean, I'm not saying stay up nights worrying, but how about preparing a little bit at a time? So one of the things I want to do is get big garbage bags, garbage cans, plastic ones, and at the first sign of trouble, fill those with water. Or worst comes to worst, fill your bathtub with water. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all. Bye.